Number one, he is going to pardon many of the January 6 rioters. I fully support that. Many of these people have been locked up and it's wrong. Not all of them. Some of them deserve to be in jail, but many of them deserve to be pardoned. And President Trump is the only presidential candidate.
I'm sorry, did she say only some of them deserve to be in jail? In a very clear message to her listeners, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene very defiantly stated that although of course she wants Donald Trump to pardon many of the January 6th rioters, she actually thinks some of them deserve to be in jail. And this follows a very pronounced backsliding on her previous statements that all of the Capitol riot footage should be released in its totality, as she's now saying their release would, quote, put the security of the Capitol at risk. A few days earlier, she had promised, quote, unfettered access to the footage to 3 news outlets. And even for MTG, this reversal of position is quite shocking and abrupt, and that's saying a lot for her. In early May, the representative wrote a lengthy tweet on the importance of releasing January 6th footage, tweeting that, quote, the American people deserve to know exactly what happened on January 6th, 2021. So what gives? In my reporting last week on the debt ceiling, I noted that despite her MAGA contingent being furious over the debt limit deal that Kevin McCarthy negotiated, promising not to vote for it, Greene actually supported it. I noted that this was crucial because it gives credence to many of the stories that arose in January during McCarthy's speaker fight that Greene is angling herself towards the mainstream of the Republican Party and away from the lunatic fringes, a strategic move that is bewildering and frightening. It's very clear that this shift in her January 6th tone is in that vein too. But the true test for her will come in 2024 and her stance on stolen elections, one of the most alienating issues for the far right, and one that MAGA troops all across the country are very much still pushing.
And it was a concerted effort nationally with lots of money going into it. And just knowing that we had 12 losses that we had to win. And if we had lost one of them, like if we lost Harris County, Trump won by 620,000 votes in Texas. Harris County mail-in ballots that they wanted to send out were 2.5 million. Those were all illegal, and we were able to stop every one of them. Had we not done that, we would have been in the very same situation. We would have been on election night. I was watching election night, and I knew when I saw what was happening in these other states that that would have been Texas. We would have been in the same boat. We would have been one of those battleground states that they were counting votes in Harris County for 3 days, and Donald Trump would have lost the election.
So that is obviously Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, a Republican, who said that former President Donald Trump would have lost in Texas in the 2020 election if his office had not successfully blocked counties from mailing out applications for mail-in ballots to all registered voters. Texas ranks as the most difficult state for voting in the United States, and it is incredibly difficult to get approved an absentee ballot. And as Paxton admitted, he was in charge of severely limiting mail-in voting as well. So while Trump and Governor Abbott probably did legitimately win their elections, it's clear they were both a lot closer than what was ultimately reported. And this is an issue that will be the dividing line for Marjorie Taylor Greene as she enters her new era. Does she genuinely believe elections were stolen from the right when there is irrefutable evidence to the contrary? I'm sure none of us are totally surprised that a freshman congresswoman after a few years in Congress is becoming a little more centrist. I just don't think any of us thought that it would happen so quickly and so aggressively. We will just have to see what her constituents think of the new Marge when she's up for re-election. For more of my coverage on The Breakdown, check out my latest video on how MAGA youth are revealing the true impact of GOP strategy by clicking on the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at CaroJohnson917.